Hey people on YouTube land, Zach Hall back here with another Bible review. Today we're going to be looking at the TBS Comfort Print Bible from Trinitarian Bible Society. This was sent to me as a review copy. And so before we get into this, let's go ahead and check out the sleeve that it came in. So this is the packaging that the Bible will come into you. It's just a nice little paper cover pretty much. It slips in and out. It's just a slip case. So on the front here it says brown vinyl covered hardback. Okay, so this is a hardback Bible. You can get it in brown or black, but right now I think they're out of the black. You have the Comfort Text Bible, authorized King James, of course, from TBS. The top, you have the Trinitarian Bible Society's their address. Then you have the Comfort Text Bible, and here's some of the features. So it comes in a 10-point font. It's available in brown or black vinyl hardback. It's a standard text, so no references, no notes, no nothing like that. Bible paper. The paper is pretty nice in this Bible. You got 2 ribbon markers, a sewn binding. That's true of all Trinitarian Bible Societies, regardless of the cover. Head and tail bands. You have the epistle dedicatory, page heading, self-pronouncing text. Here's a sample of the text. And then at the bottom, you're going to have dimensions here. So 9 3/4 by 6 1/4. And then we've got it by 1 inch thick. So then on the bottom here, we have the ISBN. So if you want to pause that and take a look at it, you absolutely can. Setting that aside, let's go ahead and get in the Bible here. So the brown hardback, it looks nice. It has different shades of brown in it. So you can see kind of where the light reflects. There's a darker and lighter browns on it. So it's really nice. It's very sturdy. Of course, the nice thing about hardbacks is you can stand them up. It's got Holy Bible on the side and then TBS at the bottom. It comes with 2 ribbon markers, as it said. They're kind of placed on top of each other, which again, I don't prefer, but it's nice to even have ribbon markers in a hardback, so that's kind of rare. You can see it's a stitch binding there, the way the signatures are done. Then you have brown and white head and tail bands, which are done really nicely. To bring it out for size comparison, I have 2 other TBS Bibles here. So we have the large print Westminster. I'm going to go ahead and put that on top of the Westminster. And then we have the standard side Westminster. And so you can turn around here and see where that's going to be. So it's slightly taller than the standard size Westminster, but it's shorter than the large print. But at the same time, it's the same width as the standard Westminster, but it's a lot shorter than the large print. And it's thinner than both of them. Okay, so this is about 1 inch and almost a half thick, not quite that much. And this is 1.5 inches thick too. This is just 1 inch. Okay, so it's about 1/2 inch thinner than both of these Bibles. Okay, so that's kind of your size comparison there with the TBS line. Now to the side, we'll compare the fonts real quick. But before they do that, I'll kind of just get into this. The one thing I will say about the cover, I could do without the Holy Bible on the front. Me and my wife were talking about this. It kind of looks like a Gideon's Bible or like a hotel Bible. And I get this as a cheaper edition. It's meant to just be, a economic kind of deal for you. But it's actually a really nice hardback. So I really kind of wish they would just take that off, leave that blank, because Holy Bible is already on the side. And I think that would make it look a lot more aesthetically pleasing, because this kind of just really pops off, and it's so big on the Bible that it kind of just looks out of place. But anyways, getting into the Bible, you have a paper liner here. You have a nice presentation page from Trinitarian Bible Society. I really love this presentation page. So that way, if you wanted to buy this as a gift for somebody, or maybe it's their first Bible, they've never owned one, you can definitely, mark that memory, put it down here for that person, and that can be a special occasion for them. Then you're going to have your title page, very nicely done. This is a 1957 reprint of a HarperCollins text, so this is why it looks like an older typesetting, because it is. Here's your information on the ISBN. Also, it's printed by CPI William Clowes, which is in the UK. So this is a separate printing from Youngblood or even Lego or even Printcore in Belarus. So someone else does the printing for this one. You have the epistle dedicatory. You're going to have your index of the books of the Bible. It gives you what page it starts on and the numbers of chapters it has in each book. After that, you're going to get an alphabetical index. So it's going to have all the books of the Bible in alphabetical order. And then you're going to get a table of signs, so how to pronounce the self-pronouncing signs in the book. After that, you're going to get right into the Old Testament, the first book of Genesis. And it's a good, clear font, almost looks Times New Romanish. The verses are nice and pronounced. They stand out. So if you're preaching from this Bible or reading or referencing, they're very easy to find. I was reading through this book yesterday and I found it very easy on the eyes, very easy to locate what I was looking for. You do have the Pilcrow markers. Those will go until the end of the epistles. The text is got good spacing in between the words. So there's no instance where it's really cramped, where the text feels really cramped as far as this way. Now the lines going up and down, so this way, are a little bit smushed together. So that allows you to put more sentences and more phrases per page, which is why this is so thin, only coming in at 1 inch, because there's more words per page. Also, the columns are a lot wider. So to bring that out here, let's get our handy dandy Westminster. And the Westminster has a 9.6 font. Okay, so we're going to see the difference here between digital fonts and the printed fonts. So, because 9.6 is when you compare it to a Times New Roman font, I believe. So here's this on that side, and you can see that this is almost supposed to technically be a 10, and this is a 10. So this looks a lot bigger, okay? But at the same time, because this is a digital font and it's not pressed, it wasn't a older, metal press font, this is a lot crisper. Okay, this is a lot easier to read. Plus the spacing in the Westminster, to me, between the words is just as good as this one on the left. So the spacing between the words is really good. It never really gets cramped. You feel like there's enough room. But also the spacing between the lines is really, really good on the Westminster. This is like my favorite Bible right now that I've been reading out of. So you can see the font comparison there. The paper in the Westminster is a little bit more yellow. This paper here is a little bit more white. This font is slightly darker than the Westminster's font, but only slightly, because there's this varies because it is a printed font. So there's sometimes where it's a little bit more gray, sometimes it's a little bit more black. So that's a comparison between kind of the different fonts that TBS offers there. But as you can see, it's a nice font. In the beginning, you're not going to have a problem with this gutter. That was the only other issue I had with this Bible. This is nice and easy. The pages don't go in the gutter. But as you turn to the middle, you can see that starts to bend down in the gutter. Now you can press that out, and read it more. And of course, I broke this Bible in, but I'm sure if you did a couple more times, maybe it'll loosen up that column a little bit. But I think that's due to the hardback here. As you can see, this piece goes up, and this piece goes up, which forces this text to have to bend over it, which I think is why you're getting this in the gutter. So that's going to bend it. So just be aware of that if you do go and buy this Bible. But as we saw on the paper slip, of course, you have your page headings here. So you have the book heading, 1 Kings 2. You're going to have a running page header, so David's charge fulfilled. Solomon prefereth wisdom. Okay, you're going to have that. You're going to have a page number at the bottom. These do start over in the New Testament. So once you get to the end of the Old, you start the New. Matthew will start on page 1. It's got a nice dividing line to keep the column of text separated, which I find really nice and helpful. To show you some of the poetic settings, okay, so it's going to be like the rest of the Bible, pretty much. So here's Psalms. Although very beautiful font, very easy to read. Easy to hold in your hand because of the hardback. That's kind of the advantage of the hardback, is this isn't going to flop around on you. It's easy to hold and use. So you can see I can maneuver that pretty easy. So if you wanted to preach out of this thing or teach or whatever, or do public reading, I think this would be a great choice for you. Right? Even devotionally, this would be a really good Bible because it's a really big font, but it's not a really big Bible. So there's kind of advantages to having this Bible. And this is about $22 from their website. 22, maybe 26 from their website. And I think it's worth every penny because it's a stitch binding. And you get 2 ribbons. And it's a really well done hardback. So there's the book of Proverbs. Another poetic book. Okay, now we'll get to the New Testament. And I'll show you guys a title page. This title page I feel like is really well done. It's nice and classy, looks traditional, it goes with the text. Okay, so here you have the end of the Old Testament, now you're going to have the beginning of the New, and we'll check out that self-pronouncing text in Matthew here. So you can see for the more familiar names for people that be reading the Bible, they're not self-pronounced. Okay, so this kind of assumes you know some of the characters of the Bible, which is totally fine. But as you get into some more of the complicated names or people that are well less known, they do start to put the self-pronouncing text on it. So you can see like David's not the, doesn't have any self-pronouncing marks, but Urias does, Rehoboam, Abiah, all of those. So be aware of that. If you like self-pronouncing, it's there. If not, if you don't like it, I would encourage you to get the Westminster, because it doesn't have it, but it does have all the self-pronouncing in the back of the Bible. So it's still there if you do want it. Flip through some of the epistles. I mean, I really just like how this font is kind of laid out. It lends itself to being open. I mean, it just looks really well done. It's classy. Here's the Acts of the Apostles. So what I want to say about this is that new books don't necessarily start on new pages. Okay, so if there's enough space, like on this page, they're not going to just skip this page and start on a new page. They're going to go ahead and continue it. So books can start on the same page. They might not be on a different page. So just want you to be aware of that. Because this is a reprint, I wanted to show something to you guys just to be honest about it. In Romans 10 here, or Romans 9:23, it says, "In that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy." You can see how might just looks like it got a chunk just taken out of it. So you still have the dot from the I, but the I is not even noticeable. It takes out some of the G and even takes out some of the M. So because it's an older reprinted font, sometimes that ink won't connect from it, or maybe the plates have run down, and so when they start to print it, it's not necessarily that there wasn't enough ink, it's just probably the plates. So it's not a problem with the printing as much as it is with the plates that they use. So I just want you to be aware of that, because sometimes that does appear, and I know it's kind of frustrating because you want a text that's consistent. That's why I love the Westminster being a digital font, because with a digital font you're not going to have that problem at all. There's never a break in the letters. There's nothing like that, which is so awesome that we can do that now. It's just a blessing. But the advantage of this is there's going to be a darker, bolder font, bigger. It's nicely spaced out. You get a nice margin around here, so it gives the text a little bit of room to breathe and even to take notes. But you will run into that a little bit, okay? And so because this is a standard print Bible, pretty much when you get to the end there, you're going to have just the end of Revelation, and then you're done. So then you'll flip here. You get like one page here. You could use that for notes. Then you could use this also for notes or whatever you want to use. And then you get to the back. And that is it. So this is the TBS Comfort Bible, guys. I really think for the price point, this is a really, really good deal. I would love to see them maybe do a large print Windsor Bible to replace this one. But for now, I think for around $20, you're not going to be able to beat this deal as far as a large print, nice hardback. And really, I think what sets this thing apart for a hardback is ribbons. I mean, you can't find a good hardback with ribbons in it. So I think the fact that they put two of them here, not just one, but two, really kind of pits this apart. And the hardback's nice. The vinyl is beautiful. It feels good. It feels like it has a grain on it. And the colors kind of varies, which is just like it just looks nice. It makes it look classy, like it is a Bible. Again, I could do without the Holy Bible on the front, but that's just a minor qualm. Other than that, it's beautiful. It's thin, easy to hold in the hand. It's got a beautiful font. So if you're interested in this Bible, let me know in the comments. Or if you want to buy one of these, go to TBS's website. They only have on the U.S. branch, at least, they only have the brown vinyl, so you can't get the black right now. They're out of stock of it. I was checking that the other day. But this is a nice font. So I'll just give you guys a quick go back to Genesis. I'll give you a quick shot at the close-up of the font here, and then I'll call it good. So just so you guys can see that. All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in and checking me out. So if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, maybe something I didn't cover, or you want more information on this Bible, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to answer that question for you. Other than that, you guys have a great day, and God bless.